made today. So this video is to serve a few different purposes. The first one is when you're in Arcade Editor and you make a map, like a co-op or solo map, you can't actually play that map through Map Editor. What you have to do is you have to publish the map, and then you have to go into regular Arcade, just play Arcade. Then you have to go into play co-op or solo map. Then you have to search by your name. And then it will bring up every map that you have created. So this is a map that I literally just made. It's called Your Family is Dead. So I spawned the player in front of a house that is burned down, and there's a bunch of burnt bodies inside, and you have to go around and you have to kill the people that just killed your family, and you have to seek revenge for them. So we're going to go in and play that now. This is the loadouts that I gave. So let's go in and try it out. I did explore a few times, just to make sure the mechanics worked how I wanted, and just to make sure that you could maneuver through the map properly. But I have not actually played the map. So this is going to be my first time playing the map that I just made. It should work. Spent probably about half an hour on the map. I just made it really quick because I was noticing that no one else was really making any new co-op or solo maps lately that I could find. So I made this just because I wanted a new map that I could play. So we have Why Not? So it just kind of has everything that blows up. Then we have Crazy. So it's just like all the pistols I could put. Because only a crazy person would use this loadout. Fire, of course. Because your family died in a house fire, you now use fire to kill your enemies. And Basic, in case you just want to be a basic. So we're going to use this one, more or less just to prove that you can actually do it with this one. So this is the house fire right here. Now, admittedly, I didn't spend as much time as I probably should have on this map. But, yeah. So this was your house. And it got burned down. I put some other buildings around here as well with dead bodies inside of them and dead animals. Now, if you fall down, you're going to want to parachute because there is no... You take fall damage when you fall. However, there's a grapple thing over there that you can use to your advantage if you fall. And I suppose if you fell down there, you'd probably have to go up over there. And I'm sure there's probably some way to get up on that. But basically, just try not to fall down. I didn't spend as much time as I should have on this map, so it's not perfect. Just kind of whipped it together in like half an hour. So there's 32 enemies in total. And of course, once you take out the first wave, a secondary wave will spawn in. And that will just kind of more or less consist of Joseph, John, and Jacob's seed. Now you may have to pick up an actual gun at some point if you go with the basic loadout. But for the most part, you should be able to do this with just the loadout that is given. Now this map wasn't necessarily meant as a challenge map. As you can see, it's pretty easy. Just kind of barreling right through this. This was more just kind of meant to kind of try and be fun, rather than present an actual challenge to the player.
Success.
I just kind of did that because I was bored and just kind of waiting out until I believe the Alien DLC is going to be the first one to come out. I'm actually going to dislike that. It's not a very good map. But the first purpose of this video was because they don't really explain it to you, that the only way you can play a map that you created is if you create a map in Farcry Arcade Editor, you actually have to leave the editor and go back to Open Arcade, and then go here and then type in the name of the map or the name of you, your character, your profile, to then be able to access a map that you created. And you need 6 people in your party to be able to start a multiplayer map. And they don't really explain that to you at any point, which is irritating. So you kind of have to figure it out on your own, or ask someone who knows. And it is irritating, and it is... I don't really understand why they don't explain it, because this is the second Far Cry game I played. First one was Primal, and Primal didn't have an arcade, so when I started playing this one, I didn't know what I was doing. And they didn't explain anything to me, so I had to figure it all out on my own. Which is fine, I guess. You know? A game holding your hand too much is annoying, but at the same time, if a game just throws you in the middle of everything and doesn't give you any sense of general direction at all, that's not good either. It needs to be somewhere in the middle. We don't want the games to hold our hand like a little kid, but we don't want the game to just expect us to know what we're doing the entire time. And the other thing, it is kind of disappointing that you can't play a multiplayer map that you created unless on the hope that if you go into multiplayer, the map you created will somehow be chosen as the map that you will play. That's your only hope for being able to... Where the hell am I? Your only hope for playing a multiplayer map that you created is on the very off chance that when you start a multiplayer match, your map will actually be chosen. Because if it isn't, you're not going to be able to play that map, which is disappointing. You also can't do, like, 1v1s, which is weird. I just kind of assumed you'd be able to. So it is kind of weird that you can't actually do, like a 1v1 or, like, a 3v3 with your friends. The only PvP that you can do is the generic 6v6, which is fine, I guess. It's just, you know, like, what if I don't want to do 6v6 and I just want to do like a 2v5 with my friends? You know, like, I can't do that. Ugh. Oh my god. What the hell? You know, so it is kind of disappointing in how you can't decide what you're going to be doing. It's either co-op, solo map, or 6v6. So that is disappointing. And I just kind of assumed you'd be able to do that. You know, like, what if I want to do a 1v1? Or what if I want to do a 1v6? Can't do it. And you can kind of create, like, a solo map, and then kind of do it that way, but there's problems where when you try to do a 1v1... When you try to do a 1v1 in, like, a co-op or a solo map, when you try to do a 1v1 in that map, there are problems. Like, I tried to make one, and I tried to do a 1v1 with one of my friends, and, like, I had unlimited shovels to throw at him. He had one shovel he could throw at me, and then that was it, and then he could only melee. So it is kind of weird, I guess, on how you can't do 1v1s. But I guess I get it. Like, kind of. I mean, I kind of understand why they didn't, like, implement that into the arcade. But I just think it's kind of ridiculous. I just think it's kind of stupid. Because in every other game that has multiplayer, well, not every other game, but, like, a lot of other multiplayer games have some form of a custom game where you can do a 1v1 or you can do a 1v5. But this game doesn't, so it is kind of weird. But, I mean... the other thing is they brought out another vector. So there's the one that you can get that has, like, the ridiculous paint job on it. And then there's the one you can buy. So I already have this one. It's the one with the weird paint job on it. It's got, like, rainbows and, like, stickers all over it. It looks like a little girl customized the gun. So there's that one. And then there is one you can buy. It's like $7,000 though. And since I already have one, I don't really see a point in buying another one. But it's this one right here. I think I might get it just because. I mean, I already have one though, so it's kind of pointless to buy a gun I already have. And it is also really stupid how you get the one vector, right, for doing the live event. But then if you want to, like, customize the Vector at all, you have to spend $7,200 to buy another one. So then you can customize the paint job. Like, I feel like if you did the live event and earned... Oh, what's happening? And earned the, Oh my god. The other thing I kind of hate about this game, and it is really annoying, is like right now when I'm trying to switch to no weapons, I want like just brass knuckles. But the right analog stick, I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I try to do that, the right analog stick like won't listen to anything I want. And I didn't even want to get in that. Oh my god, now I'm stuck. This game just doesn't listen to anything I, like, you know, oh my god. This game doesn't listen to anything I tell it to do. Like, I didn't say to get in the vehicle, yet he gets in the vehicle. I actually wanted him to sabotage the car, but he doesn't do that. And whenever I try to switch to bare hands, like brass knuckles, it doesn't do that either. It keeps on switching to the bow. Like... So, yeah, I don't know. Is it still not destroyed? Dude, what the hell? What clothes am I wearing right now? Okay, there we go. Like, I guess I didn't need to technically do that, but I like to. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, the only problems I have with this game are, like, little things. Like, the fact that it is kind of difficult to sometimes switch to brass knuckles when I just want to not have a weapon in my hands. Because I'm just walking around, just doing casual shit. Or like the fact that if I want to customize the paint job on my Vector, I have to spend $7,000 to buy another one, even though I did the live event to earn the special one. So the only problems that I have with this game are like like small things. Like things that probably won't irritate most people, and like most people probably wouldn't even notice and or care about, but they bother the hell out of me. And like the fact that you can't choose if you want to join the resistance or if you want to join the cult. Not necessarily that I would have joined the cult, but I would have liked to have the option of maybe joining Joseph and then completely changing the storyline, just to kind of see how it would have ended up, just to kind of see where it would have went. Now, if you have not finished the end of this game, just skip past this little part on what I'm about to say. So, some spoilers ahead for the end game. So if you don't care, keep on watching. If you do, stop watching. So at the end of the game, alright, there are two endings for the end of the game. There's one ending in the beginning of the game. So there's one secret ending and two regular ones. The secret ending is in the beginning of the game when you're handcuffing Joseph. If you choose to not handcuff Joseph and wait 5 minutes, the game will just end, and then the whole game is finished. Because think about it, right? If you never handcuff Joseph, the whole game doesn't even happen. So just don't handcuff him, and you finish the game in like 5 minutes. The other two endings are, the first one is, at the end of the game, you confront Joseph after you've killed John, Jacob, and Faith. So if you choose to... Joseph will give you two choices. He says either you can take your friends and walk away, leave, or stand and fight me. Like, he says it differently, but that's more or less what he says. So if you choose to stand and fight him, he, like, totally spazzes the fuck out, and he starts throwing shit at you, and he has all of your companions, all of your friends, start trying to kill you, and then you have to, like, knock them down, and then you have to revive them, and then when you revive them, they will become your allies again, and you have to do that to all of them. And then there's like a major fight. You with all of your allies versus Joseph, and when you win, you and all your friends will get loaded into the truck with Joseph, because for whatever reason you don't kill him, which, like, you totally should do, but you don't. So you don't kill him. Instead, you handcuff him and load him into the truck. Seems simple enough, right? Here's the thing. He had nuclear bombs blow up all over the map. So there's nuclear bombs blowing up everywhere. The whole city, the entirety of Hope County is just going to hell. And the guy that you meet at the beginning of the game, your friend, the guy who lives on that small island in the middle of the map, this island, he tells you to get over to his bunker, and get over there fast. So you get in a truck with everyone else, and you start driving over to his bunker. And you crash. At some point, the truck crashes, and Joseph survives. Most of your friends either die or are incapacitated. I'm so retarded, I said that so wrong. They're knocked the fuck out. They got knocked the fuck out. Joseph didn't. You didn't. You kind of, like, wake up in a daze, though. And then Joseph starts dragging you to the bunker, kills your friend that lives on the small island, and then you wake up and you're handcuffed to the bed, and Joseph tells you that when the nuclear bombs are done dropping and it's all, you know, it's all safe outside again, he's going to take you and you two are going to go rule the world. He says world domination because, according to him, the whole world is dead now. And I don't know if it's because I finished the main game, or if it's just because Ubisoft, the people that make this game, are like trying to screw with us. But every now and then on the radio, I will actually hear that the guy on the radio is saying something about, like, some country got bombed or something, and, like, now there's going to be some kind of war or some shit. So every now and then I hear that on the radio. So I don't know if that's because I finished the game, and that's, like, that's how the world is after you finish the game. Because after you finish the game, and after the little cutscene where Joseph...
Follow the gravel road off island until you hit the Devil's Fork, and see which way the wind takes you. Best of luck, Deputy. I'll call when I've got some new info. Dutch out.
Oh yeah, that's the guy's name, Dutch. Joseph kills him. That's your friend, Joseph kills him. So after the little cutscene where Joseph spews at you, which is like 90% of this game, and you can't interact during the middle of the cutscene, so it's fucking boring as hell. But after Joseph spews at you, it spawns you back into the game, like just before you kill Joseph. And so the world is untouched by nuclear bombs as of late, or at least Hope County. So you are allowed to continue to explore and continue to play the game. So even after you finish the game, it's like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You can still play the game. So don't worry, after you finish the game, you're fine. What else was I gonna say? So, the storyline is pretty good, but, I mean, like, my main complaint about the storyline is the fact that during a cutscene you can't talk, because your character never talks. So people just kind of talk at you, and you can't interact with them, so that's kind of boring. So I just kind of skipped all the cutscenes. I don't really know what happens in 90% of the cutscenes in this game. So the other storyline, right? So if you choose to stay and fight Joseph, alright, the world ends. If you choose to leave with your friends, Joseph says something along the lines of, I will give you one more chance, leave now with your friends, and you will leave unharmed. So if you choose that route, if you choose to leave with your friends, get in the truck, go away, it shows you, like, just before the cutscene cuts out. Like, just before the cutscene ends, it shows you that your friends are still under Joseph's mind control. So yes, you're leaving with your friends and you're still alive. However, your friends are still under his mind control, so...
You're ready to serve your country.
You know, you're probably gonna get, like, fucked up pretty soon by your friends, and more likely than not, die.
I think we can help each other
So
out.
those are the
I know
three
who you
endings
are,
to
Deputy,
the
and I know what
game.
you're doing.
I've only done the one where I stay and fight Joseph. I have not done the other two.
I was on vacation visiting all 50 states in ascending order of patriotism when I got a call. The call. I've been sent here on a special mission from the big man himself. Jesus tap-dancing Christ, just saying that gets me semi-erect. Pardon my French. I need to recover a tape that, if released, could make him look bad to the public. I tracked it here to a member of Joseph's happy family. He stashed it somewhere, and that's where you come in. I'm gonna lure out our man, then you're gonna follow him back to his hidey hole and get the tape back for me. Do this for your country, and your country will solve your little cult problem for you.
Hello.
We're here. Follow me.
Oh, okay.
Go on foot the rest of the way.
Okay. Whee! Oh, we're going this way?
I feel better when I see Old Glory waving over this valley again instead of those cult banners.
Tunnel. Oh, wait,
I
not
need
going this way?
access to the equipment in this tower.
Whatever.
Get rid of all these doomsday hippies for me.
But, like, if nothing else, even though the story is kind of boring and, like, there is too much going on in the world. Like, I know that probably sounds weird. Too much going on in a world? Like, how can too much be going on in a world? What are you talking about? Like, there's never a moment of peace and quiet. You know, you're always being shot at by someone. Either there's a helicopter, or a plane, or a jet, or a bear, or a pack of wild dogs.
Great job, Deputy.
There's always something attacking you. There is always something coming out of nowhere to try and kill you. Or maybe you accidentally hit one of the Resistance members. You know, you accidentally shoot one of the Resistance members 27 times in the face. It was an accident. I didn't mean to.
Attention, comrade. The bed has been wet.
The
Repeat,
teabagging was an
the bed has
accident,
been
too.
wet.
So, like, you know, if you do that, then, like, all the other Resistance members are gonna try and kill you.
You need to move fast.
Damn it. I'm at the boy's house. Send me a chopper and I'll take care of it.
It's tailing time, deputy. Follow that chopper to Boyd's house.
So-
Let the target get in.
And they'll lead you down the yellow brick road. Remember,
I mean,
as ironic as this may sound,
like, I know it sounds weird, but there is actually too much that happens in this world.
do not engage the target
And the other
unless
thing
instructed.
is,
There's the chopper right on time.
90% of the game,
Jump off the tower and
main
follow it.
storyline and every other side mission,
Get the job done.
is
Now get
shooting,
going.
explosions, death. Like, everything you would want in a video game, right? I mean, sure, but when 90% of the game is that, it's too much. And then every now and then you will get a dumb mission like this one where you have to tail some dude. And it's reminiscent of, like, the old Assassin's Creed. And there's only one tower you have to climb. I know that was a big annoyance in previous Far Cry games. And the way you... I'm saying a lot. Fuck off!
All right. Let our man
So the
get
way
into
you
chopper.
clear the world in
Remember,
this
we still
game...
need to find where he's hiding the tape. Any idiot with a stick can pull off wet works. Espionage is what separates us from the animals.
So the way you, like, discover the world in this game is you actually have to, like, go through the area and, like, look at shit. So that's where you discover... I'm saying a lot. Why am I saying like, a lot? What the hell? Anyway, I'm gonna stop trying to say... I'm gonna try to stop saying as much. Anyways. So... That's the way that you clear the world, and that's the way you discover things. So... I mean, it's cool, I guess. You know, not having to climb towers or any of that stupid shit. Oh, crap. But at the same time... like, you actually have to go walking through the world. You can't fly over it, you can't, like, parachute or, like, wingsuit over it. You can drive through it, but you have to be on the ground to clear the world. But it's cool, I guess. I mean, it's better than having to climb a tower every other 3 seconds. Just so you can know what's 30 feet that way.
Now it's time for the stick. When he lands, clear the area. We're looking for a hard copy, likely an old VHS tape. I'm on my way to you now. Have it ready for me.
So I would have to say the Vector is the best gun in the game. Like, until the Vector was brought out, this gun right here was the best one. It is still pretty good. It is a still pretty good gun. It's just not, I wouldn't say it's the best one anymore. How do I get inside the house? All these doors are, like, locked. Find the VH tape. In the bunker. Oh. Like, another thing I do kind of hate about this game is how... like, your character will just go up and down ladders, just unprompted, without you even telling him to do it. God damn it. I keep on saying, It's even annoying me. So that is kind of stupid, and I do kind of hate how my character will just go up or down a ladder without me even telling my character to do it. my character will also use a zip line just because my character is near it, which is annoying. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. It's just not. It's not helpful to just be near a ladder and just automatically start going down it.
Report, I got the tape. What's that? Are you kidding me, sir? Chief of Staff. I'd be honored. I'll be there in 12 hours.
I think this guy's insane.
Kid. I've got bigger fish to fry, and this little bearded uprising is suddenly below my pay grade. The American got bad news for you. Turns out there's no help coming. Life sucks. Wear a helmet.
So this guy's an idiot and a jerk. Like, he said, if I help him with this mission, the American government will send help. Like, not that this guy even worked for the American government. He's insane, out of goddamn mind. But then he immediately turns around after I finish the mission. He's like, yeah, like, we're not gonna help you, so, like, fuck off. What the hell, dude? Wish there was a mission where I could kill him. He is the Lester of this video game. At least he's not gonna bother me anymore, though. What the hell? That NPC just crashed into a wall. So, I mean, all in all, the game is pretty good. I do like it. You know, the graphics are nice. The storyline is kind of whatever. The characters are eh. And the fact that the main character doesn't talk is weird, to say the least. I mean, maybe if they put a reason behind why he doesn't talk, you know, maybe like when he was young, he got like punched in the throat or something, so now his vocal cords don't work anymore. Like, that's the same kind of thing with Snake Eyes, the character from G.I. Joe. Like, that's why he doesn't talk. His throat was cut when he was really young. So he just can't talk. So maybe if they put a legit reason behind why the main character of this game can't talk, then it wouldn't be as horrible, but what the fuck is going on here? But without it, it's just like he doesn't talk for like no particular reason. He just, I don't know. Like, I know because they made it so you can customize the character for, like, you know, you can customize the race and the sex of the character. They would have had to hire 4 different voice actors. Wait, right? Yeah. One for... Okay, they would have had to hire 1 voice actor for the white guy, 1 voice actor for the black guy, 1 voice actor for the black girl, and 1 voice actor for the white girl. Or were there more skin tones than white and black? They would have definitely had to hire at least 4 voice actors, possibly more. So, I mean, I guess I kind of understand why they didn't hire voice actors, because they would have had to probably hire close to, like, at least 10 to do all of the same lines. But at the same time, like, it would have added more to the game. It would have made us care a little bit more about the character. And the other thing is, like, I wish they would have just had, like, 1 set character rather than making it so we can customize the character. Because they made it so that we can customize the character. They made it so the character doesn't talk. Because they would have had to hire so many different voice actors. So I wish they would have just had 1 set character. The only problem is, like, with whatever the main character of a video game is, someone's not going to be happy, right? So, like, if the main character is like a young white female, like, anyone that isn't female or white isn't going to be able to relate to that character as much as someone who is a female and is white. So, that's kind of why they do customization in video games. That's the same reason why GTA has it in the multiplayer. So you can care a little bit more. Wait, did I find the boundary of the game? Holy crap, I found the boundary of the game. So, you know, that is why they have character customization like that. So you care a little bit more about the character you're playing as. Rather than just being like, oh, I don't care if the character dies. That's the thought process behind it. The only problem with that thought process is, in the main story of GTA, like, I'm white. So you would think that because I'm white, I would connect with Michael or Trevor more. I would like Michael or Trevor. I honestly didn't care what happened to Michael or Trevor throughout the entire main story of GTA, because Michael just seemed like a fucking pussy. Like a man-child. So I didn't really like Michael at all. And Trevor was crazy, but like, he was too crazy. He didn't know how to calm down. Like, he was always doing something. It was just too much. It was too much crazy. So the only main character the only playable character in GTA, the main story, that I actually cared about was Franklin. And I know that's, like, probably not what the game developers were expecting. Right? That's why they have, like, different characters, so different types of people can connect with those different characters. I'm white, and the only character in GTA story mode that I cared about was Franklin, and he's black. So, I mean, like, I do understand why they make it in this game so you can customize your character, but at the same time, just because a character doesn't look like you doesn't mean that people won't care about that character. It just means that people that care about looks won't care about that character. And people who are that worried about how other people look and about how they look probably shouldn't be playing video games in the first place, because they're so arrogant that, like, they just shouldn't be playing video games. So, like, if a video game comes out, right? And, like, the main character is a particular race, sex, whatever. And you get mad that the character is that particular... Why won't this guy die? And you get mad that the character is that particular race, sex, whatever. Then you care too much about how you or other people look. And you probably shouldn't be playing video games. Because it's people like that that ruin communities that revolve around a particular type of video game.
This is too much, I'm out of here!
Can I not buy ammo from her? I want to buy ammo. Get back here! I want to buy ammo. Ugh. It's people like that that ruin a community around a video game. Because they're so concerned about how their main character, about the character in the video game looks, that the character needs to look like them, because they're like... I forget the word, but there's a word for it. It's people that are like... Damn it, what the...
I'm sorry! I can't do...
They'll like change themselves or like how they look just because of what other people say. Like those people. Like... You know what I mean? They're so concerned about how they look. It's the only important thing. Like, nothing else matters. Like, the house could be on fire, but if their makeup's messed up, oh shit. So, like, those kinds of people shouldn't be playing video games because they ruin a community around a video game. Because then, you know, people like that is the reason why now in Far Cry 5, it's like, oh, you can customize your character. But, you know, it does ruin the game. It does make the game a little harder to actually care about. For the same reason that GTA 5 multiplayer. For the same reason that GTA 5 multiplayer is hard to care about, Far Cry 5 is hard to care about. And, you know, if they want to do player agency, what they called it, if they want to do that so bad, they could have done the same thing that GTA did. Have a main character in the main story that was fleshed out, that had like a cool backstory with like a cool voice actor, like maybe like Morgan Freeman. Like, probably not, but I mean, Morgan Freeman's voice is like a pillow, so like if he could do the voice acting for a character in a video game, like that would be perfect. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, have a fleshed out main story character that we can actually care about and be involved in. And, like, when that character harm, like, you know, when harm is put upon that character, we actually care about the character. Because we like the character. But no, that would be too difficult. And what if people are like, oh, like, this character doesn't look like me? Boo-hoo. God damn it. It's the same reason why in Call of Duty World War II, like, it's supposed to be, like, period accurate, and yet in the main story, like, it's not, because Nazi symbols aren't all over the place, which they should be, but they were taken out of the game because Sledgehammer, the people who make the game, didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Oh, boo-hoo. We wouldn't want to hurt anyone's feelings now, would we? Because, like, there's nothing worse in this life than having your feelings hurt. People's skin is so thin these days. I just don't understand why people like that even play video games. Go do something else. Stop ruining video games. God damn it. Like, see this kind of shit right here. Like, I'm obviously telling him not to go down the ladder. And what is my dumbass character doing? Oh, look, he's going down the ladder. He wasn't even facing... Dude, he wasn't even facing in the same direction as the ladder. And my dumbass character's like, gonna go down the ladder now. Not the brightest. How many skill points do I have? Huh, okay, I can get this one. Oh, what the hell's happening? But all in all, the game is pretty good. I do actually like the game. But, like, all the complaints I have with it are, like, minor little complaints, minor little, like, nitpick things that would probably only annoy someone who is as OCD as I am. But when you're as OCD as I am, little things annoy you to the point on where some nights you can't even go to sleep. Because it's so annoying. Like, nothing from a video game has made it so I can't go to sleep, but like things that I said, or things that I didn't say, or like things that I didn't do, or you know, just kind of stuff like that. You know, OCD. And, you know, if you're not OCD, you don't get it. If you are, well then, you're screwed. But all in all, game is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, people with thin skin, or people that care so much about how they look, or people that care so much about how their character in-game looks, like, that's the same reason why, like, in Call of Duty World War II, like, there's no Nazi symbols all over the place, which there should be. Also, like, at a certain point in the main story, there's this one black character, and there's this one white character. And the white character, at an earlier point in the main story, is mean to the black character. And at a later point, after they do a war on the bridge, the white character apologizes to the black character. Okay, if a white guy was going to be mean or, you know, racist, but the word racist doesn't mean anything anymore because it's used on everything for everyone. So the word racist doesn't have any meaning anymore. It's like a non-word because it's used so much. But anyway, so if the one white guy was going to be racist to the black guy, and then at a later point, the white guy wouldn't, like, automatically become, like, a nice guy after, like, 5 minutes of gameplay, which is what happens in story. which is absolutely ridiculous. And also in the multiplayer, in Call of Duty World War II, in the multiplayer, there are... You know how you can customize your character to make your character in multiplayer Call of Duty World War II look like however you want the character to look? Well, if you customize your character as a black female, nothing wrong with that, right? You know, black female, whatever. But then when you play on the Nazi team, it's very non-period correct. Because women would not have been Nazis. Nevertheless, black women would have definitely not been Nazis. At any point. And also, at a certain point in the main story, there's all these women that keep on popping up in the main story, which is fine. Whatever. Women in wars, you know, sure. But the women that do pop up in the main story are all these, like, James Bond-esque characters who have, like, fucking special forces training shit. It's like, what the hell is going on? They're, like, better at being a soldier than you are, and you're an actual soldier. Most of the women that pop up throughout the story are, like, farmers. And they're better at it than you are. Which doesn't make any sense, but okay. So, you know, I mean, I don't really have a big problem with any video games in particular. It's just kind of like a lot of little things in video games that video game developers, video game companies, they're obviously doing it to try and make more people happy. The only problem is when you try to make more people happy, it is very, very obvious that you're trying to do this, and it just looks ridiculous. It just looks stupid. So I don't really understand why everyone wants to make everyone happy. It's more of just kind of play to your demographic, play to your strengths. You know, Call of Duty World War II should not have had player customization. Anyone who plays Call of Duty World War II and wanted player customization is an idiot. Even if it's just in the multiplayer, it's like, it doesn't make any sense on how there is a black female that is a Nazi. It just doesn't make any sense. Even if it's in multiplayer. I know that's not supposed to be like the period accurate point. And also, like, I know I'm talking about a game that has nothing to do with Farcry, but you know what I mean? It's like, stop trying to make everyone happy. You're not going to make everyone happy. Just make a good game with a good storyline, good characters, an interesting background. Enough going on in the world that it's fun and interesting, but not too much that it's like this game. Just make a good game. Don't worry about who's going to be happy and who's going to be unhappy. Just make a good game. And if people don't like it, then people don't like it. People like it? Cool, then people like it. Like, I understand why they do it. They do it because they're trying to make more money, you know, they're a business. They need to make money. But at the same time, you're not going to be a business for very long if you're more worried about people's emotions and people, you know, who are you, you know, who is triggered by your video game. You're not going to be a company for very long if you're more worried about people's emotions than whether or not it's a good game. And don't get me wrong, Far Cry 5 it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's just not as good as it could be if it wasn't being held back by all of this politically correct crap. If it wasn't being held back by all that, it would be a much better video game. Hello. Ah! I don't want to fight. I am just... Please don't hurt me. No, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me! I'm just a simple farmer. I do not want to fight. Ah! Why are you abusing me? Ah! Why are you abusing me?
Machine guns.
So, all in all, I do like Far Cry. It is a good game, but I mean, it would be so much better if the people who made the game, Ubisoft, if they weren't worried about who are they going to offend, who is going to get pissed off if we don't or if we do this. Like, if they weren't so worried about that, this game would be 20 times better, by far. Because there would be a main character that would be set, carved in stone. Everything about the character. You know, you could change the clothes, maybe the hairstyle, but that'd be it. The voice and the general look of the character would be set in stone. That's just how it is. Deal with it. You know, if they weren't so worried about hurting everyone's feelings, this game would be so much better. And I just don't understand why people are more worried about people's emotions than making an actually good video game. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. You know, I get it. They have to make money. Fine, cool. You need to make money. You're a business. Good, you know, good for you. Great job. But it's just, I mean, you know what I mean? You know? Like, if you don't understand where I'm coming from, that's cool. But if you do, if you get it, great. It's just irritating. It's irritating to me. But I'm sorry I went on a rant there for, like, an hour? I'm sure it's probably been at least half an hour that I went on that rant. But this is going to be the end of the video. This is the second video I made today. So if you want to go watch me play Fortnite for a little bit, go watch the other video that I made today. So this is going to be the end of this video. Have a great day, and I would suggest Far Cry 5 to you if you have $60 to spare. It's a good game. But have a great day, and see you guys in the next video. Have fun.